Indiana started this game 9 of 13, but has missed 4 straight until Shea Petty.
Then came the spark no one expected. Shea Petty, who had barely settled into Indiana before being shoved into major minutes, exploded for 16 points off the bench. That's not a hardship signing filling minutes. That's a lifeline arriving out of nowhere. To walk into a locker room mid-chaos without chemistry, without rhythm, and deliver like she'd been here all year proves just how badly Indiana needed every ounce of help. And fans noticed. Petty's contribution was more than points. It was validation that even emergency players are willing to go to war when the Fever are under siege.
Reaction looked like it was a lot more violent than that. It's still gotta hurt though. The pass from Williams. Oh, Collier is blocked.
Aaliyah Boston, as always, was the anchor on the other end. Doubled, shoved, and bodied all night, she still refused to cede control of the paint. Her work on the glass was relentless, creating second chances that Indiana's patchwork offense desperately needed. Even without gaudy scoring, Boston's calm strength grounded a team being stretched to its breaking point. Her presence was the quiet counterweight to all the chaos, a reminder that no matter how thin the rotation gets, the Fever still have one of the toughest bigs in the game holding the line. And then there's Lexi Hull. Fans still hadn't stopped talking about her gutsy 23-point performance 2 nights earlier, a career night born out of necessity where she logged 37 punishing minutes because nobody else was left. That game proved she was ready to step into whatever role this injury-riddled team needed. Now, after taking Kayla McBride's elbow to the face and being wrongfully whistled for it, Hull's frustration boiled over. This wasn't just about one call, it was about carrying too much, for too long, only to be punished for playing hard. Her anger echoed through the fan base. If Indiana's players are already being driven into the ground, how dare the officials tilt the scale further against them?
Dribble. Carrington got a piece of it. Powers gets it back. Second attempt. Up and in. And she's fouled.
The basket. And then she's just fighting and battling for her shot.
Add in Aerial Powers, another late addition asked to provide minutes after Cunningham's season-ending injury, and you start to see how every Fever player is being stretched well past their natural role. None of this is ideal. It's survival basketball. Yet somehow, they've kept themselves alive in the playoff picture by leaning on unlikely heroes, patchwork lineups, and pure fight. That's why fans can't stop imagining what happens when Caitlin Clark finally returns. Because if this patched-together group with emergency signings and walking wounded can hang with playoff teams, then a healthy backcourt changes everything. Right now, Indiana is clinging to 8th place, their postseason hopes dangling by a thread. Every game is playoff-level intensity, but everyone knows there's one player who can shift the balance, and her name is Caitlin Clark. And there she was in Minnesota, not cleared to play yet, but finally back in practice gear, moving with her teammates again. That sight alone electrified the entire franchise. After weeks of watching helplessly, seeing her on the court, even in a limited capacity, was like a lifeline tossed into stormy seas. For a roster beaten down by injuries and inconsistency, her presence reminded them the tide could turn.
This team needs Caitlin Clark to come back in the worst way. Not only if they want to save this, if they want to even play in mid to late September. This isn't a playoff team, what we're watching right now. This isn't a playoff team. This is a Kelsey Mitchell, please save us team. Kelsey Mitchell, we need 40 and 10. 40 points, 10 assists from you every night to be in the playoffs. We need a Herculean effort in the second half. We need Lexi Hull catching fire late in the fourth quarter and in overtime for this team to continue to stay in the playoffs.
But time is running out. The Fever now sit at 19 wins, 18 losses, a razor-thin one-game cushion over the Sparks with just 7 contests left. Seattle, Golden State, Chicago, Los Angeles, none of those games are freebies. One bad stretch could end the playoff dream before Clark even takes the floor. The math is brutal, and the desperation is real. Indiana cannot afford to wait much longer.
We got our best indication yet that Caitlin Clark is on her way back toward a return for the Indiana Fever. That's because she was seen participating in shoot-around before the Minnesota Lynx game. Now, that doesn't mean she's playing. She's still out for that game, and she hasn't returned to full practice yet, but she is back on the court with her teammates. This coming on the heels of Stephanie White saying she hopes that Clark would return to the lineup before the regular season is out, and that when you see her participating in practice, you will know she's on the way back.
The difference without Clark is stark. Mitchell can explode, Boston can dominate the paint, but the offense doesn't flow. It fragments. Every possession without Clark feels like gears grinding without oil. The hardship signings inject energy, but energy doesn't equal orchestration. What Clark provides is control. She bends defenses, creates space for shooters like Hull, makes Boston's life easier inside, and stabilizes chaos into coherent offense. That's why her return isn't just another player back. It's the difference between surviving and contending. Fans know it too. Every clip of Clark warming up, every dribble in practice, every piece of body language is dissected like a crime scene. Hope and anxiety bleed together with each video reposted online. The fever pitch, no pun intended, grows by the day. Because deep down, fans know this. Without her, that 8th seed could vanish in a week. With her, the Fever are suddenly a team no one wants to see in a one-game playoff.
You know, so you see Caitlin Clark, this video captured by Chloe Peterson at shoot-around. You can see Caitlin doing some work right there, just, you know, warm-up work, back and forth on the court, but nonetheless on a basketball court. It's been a long time since we've seen Caitlin Clark on a basketball court. Certainly a long time since we've seen Caitlin Clark play basketball. Then there was a little bit more footage here, and you see Caitlin involved on the floor yet again, even handling the ball, working with her teammates. I mean, that's an important sign there, to see her working with her teammates.
And beyond the numbers, Clark's return symbolizes something bigger. She doesn't just bring points and assists. She elevates teammates. She reshapes defenses. She makes Lexi Hull's cuts lethal and Boston's positioning devastating. No hardship signee can replicate that. Only Clark can. Which is why her comeback feels like the pivot point for the entire league, not just Indiana. Right now, though, the Fever are fighting two battles: injuries and officiating. The physical grind has pushed them to the brink, and the refereeing bias has taken a toll that's just as damaging. You can see it in their faces after another bad whistle. You can feel it in the fans' anger online. And you can see it most clearly in Lexi Hull's fury after taking that elbow and being punished for it. So the question hangs: when Clark comes back, will even her brilliance be enough to overcome stacked odds and tilted officiating? Indiana's resilience deserves credit, but resilience doesn't show up in the standings without help. One thing's certain: if this team does claw its way into the postseason, their fight won't just be remembered. It'll be celebrated as one of the grittiest playoff pushes in WNBA history. How does this keep happening? Let us know down in the comments below why you think the referees are blind against the Fever. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.